We will certainly know if it's not, I'm sure. But anyway, let's wait and see. Voodoo, I sent you an email. Did you receive that with the diagrams? There we go.
The email? Does it contain your PSP as account number?
1 to Nigerian. Oh, there we go. Yep, it's working. It's working. Excellent. So I've got the comments, I've got the Discord, I've got the track map, and we are good to go. We are good to go. I just need the rules. Okay. I think we've got a few people jumping on now. What do we got? 1 minute 40, 90 seconds or so left in practice. No sign of Bullseye Bobby Hoskins all the way over there in WA just yet. He's a few hours behind us, isn't he, Bob? So we'll just wait and see what happens there. Just working off a very small screen here, Voodoo. But anyway, hopefully we go all right. Let's have a look at some on-track action, shall we?
I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what the battles are going to be tonight, especially the practice race that we just did. Well, I was watching Diego and Binger kind of going toe and toe for two or three laps.
Well, that's the thing. We've heard that Nissan can be a bit of a handful around here. Here we go.
I was just going to add in, one to watch tonight is going to be Madford, though. Like, just coming off a 12-hour, all that practice, all that time.
That's going to be interesting.
I'm sure he's looking for a redemption.
Here we go. Good evening, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching right around the world, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome. We certainly are live, as you've probably already realised in the first couple of minutes of the stream, but we are here for the second of two of the driver swap endurance events. Alongside me is the great man, the Nigerian Prince, fresh off his 12-hour race here on Assetto Corsa, is none other than the man himself, Voodoo, who has a new member of the family as well. It's all happening, Voodoo. Hello, how are you going?
Hello, yes, I'm doing very well, thank you. New member of the family today, so it's been quite a long day, but yeah, very exciting day to say the least.
Good stuff. Only one car out on track at the moment, and once the camera catches up to it, that is Geordie 333. We were saying just a couple of minutes ago, weren't we? We have some drivers that we need to keep an eye on here tonight. Of course, the RPR and KRL crew. As we look at Geordie and that Nissan, we've got, half a dozen Nissans in the field. Has been a handful around here in practice before tonight, hasn't it, Voodoo? I think we heard Wilco saying 205s for the Nissans compared to some of the other boys getting in the 203s here. Pretty quick times, but the Nissans struggling a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think usually the Nissan's a really strong car around here. It's just got that much pace down Conrod that, it's just unstoppable. But surprisingly, the Jag, that's been the standout car for me so far, especially seeing Gimbleton only, I think it was 2.5 tenths or so off P1 during the last practice.
Very close. That is the end of practice. And Jason Wilkinson, go Binger, my teammate. He says the Nissan, it was Richie Beno Day, wasn't it, Cameron? 22, 22, 22. Or is it the 2nd of April where it's 2/4/22? But he says the Nissan is shit. The old Nissan is just not good. Have to run high wing to get it around the corners. So that's pretty much just backing up what we said before. As you can see, 11 people watching this stream. Good to get into double figures nice and early. As we had a look at Geordie. We'll go back to the garage right now, and the comments are coming in. Hit return to garage. And I read your mind, Wilco. Beautiful stuff. And now the cars, Voodoo, are coming out onto the track. And a very short qualifying session here, of course, and the rules for those who are new to the driver swap enduro I was going to say a championship, but these events that we hosted one at Monza last month, didn't we, to start 2022 in style. A little bit of controversy with the safety car. We'll get to that rule. which we've had the power stripped. We've been stripped of our power, just like the Ukrainians. No, that's terrible stuff. But driver one, Voodoo, does quali too soon. And driver one does quali, and the first 15 laps of this race, would you believe, they need to pit before lap 10 for a 25-second fuel stop. Then the driver change stop at lap 15. Driver 2 only needs to do two 25-second fuel stops for the rest of the race. And there's some more rules here. There can be a safety car if there is a crash with 3 or more cars. Voodoo is the safety car, the Nigerian prince. I'm going to put a spell on you. 2 full laps where you can't serve your mandatory fuel stop, pitting for damage only. The leader goes at the apex of the last corner after Voodoo pits, and I'm sure that you would have let the boys know all about that, and so would have Wilco, and probably could have gone through those rules one at a time very slowly, but that is pretty much the rules for tonight, Voodoo. And basically out of all of that, that means that we're going to see some fantastic racing here. And only 7.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. The time for practicing is over, Voodoo, as we look at Diego _S in that, what is that, an Aston Martin? Is it? Yes.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Aston V8, I think.
Aston V8 looking very nice indeed as we get back to the
V12,
comments.
sorry.
Safety car. Pole will be a high 202, we're hearing straight away as we see Diego going down Conrod Straight. Brocky LJ says safety car. So we can potentially have a safety car, like we just said before there, but we will wait and see what happens. Should we have any incidents? Brocky, great to have you with us, and everybody else. And if Bob is listening out there, we're trying to keep it together at the moment, but we miss you terribly. But anyway, just tag along whenever you can. It would be great to have you along. But here comes Diego. We can see who is on a hot lap, of course, and I think we've got a few drivers, don't we, Voodoo, on a hot lap. What's Vintage doing? I think, is he at the front of the pack? No, I think we've got the number 10, which is Binger. This man not looking too bad. He knows how to get a Nissan around Bathurst, doesn't he, Voodoo?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I've done that many races against Binger in that Nissan, and man, do I feel slow.
Here he comes. Down Conrod Straight. Rex Racing, which watch Vintage put it into the wall. We'll have to keep an eye on that. He is out on track at the moment. Thank you, Rex. Sexy Rexy and Albert. Buenos noches, Alberto. Hope you've been watching testing back there in sunny Spain at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Sunny, although very, very chilly indeed, but very exciting stuff. Buenos noches to you. And boy, oh boy, just a bit over a month before I see Albert down in Melbourne. And he's going to take me to some authentic tapas, which I cannot wait to go to. None of this other commercial crap tapas that I have been experiencing. Binger is up in a P2. Vintage Racer, well, he has not put anything into the wall. He set a 205, but these times, Voodoo, are going to tumble very quickly with 5 minutes to go in this session.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest, I'm very surprised Vintage managed to get that up to where he did as Tripleton goes bang. But, Vintage's lap, I watched the start of it, and that was hairy. A lot of wheel work involved in that.
There we have it. It certainly will be. Albert saying Bob jumping on in a sec, so that's great news. We're going to have Bob here with us as we look at Diego, who's coming around the final corner, Murray's corner. Where is he? I don't think he set a time. No, he hasn't. But Gilberton just popping up to the top of the timing sheets. Here comes Diego across the line, and he goes P2, just 0.3 off of Gilberton. And Albert just letting us know, Voodoo, it will be a night to remember, Trev, down there in Melbourne. He is going to lead me astray. I'm a married man, and I need to be careful. Bob jumping on. Thank you, Wilco. Big Shep. Big hello, fellas, from the Premier Speedway, Warrnambool. He knows a mate down there having a couple of frothies and watching KRL as well. What else would you want to be doing on a Friday night? As well as Sprint Cars Talk, multitasking. Who says men can't multitask, Voodoo? You'd be a very brave person to say that. As Wilco saying, Jaguar Power. 203.8. Who are we looking at right now? I will tell you who we're looking at right now. The boss, is he on a hot lap? Voodoo, I think he might be through
Yeah,
Murray's
he's just
corner.
coming around. Just
Coming around.
Finish his lap.
He'll be coming round Murray's when he comes. Here he comes.
I think that was
And
invalid.
there he goes. That didn't do too much. This is the man, your man saying, your man Voodoo Matterford, pretty handy in that Audi over the top of the mountain here, isn't he? This is going to be an interesting lap from him.
Yeah, absolutely. His last lap he got a bit hairy just after the Philamy, so I can understand as to why he took that, or this lap I should say, a little bit cautiously. But yeah, I'm not too sure if he went back to pits to get a new set of tyres, but it'd probably benefit him.
As here we go, Matterford now. He's gone up the mountain. Time to go back down again. What goes up must come down. And down Conrod Straight. Pretty neat. I can't see those sector times, but with less than 3 minutes to go in this session, we're going to see what he can do. Here he comes. We might just get to the end of this lap. The comments are flooding in thick and fast. Here comes Matterford. Going through the chase now. And gets it all slowed down nicely. Looking pretty neat and tidy here, Voodoo. He's on for a pretty good lap, I reckon. Let's have a look. Coming up to Murray's corner now. One more corner to go. Track temperature 30 degrees. Air temperature 27. Perfect day for racing here on the mountain. And here comes Matterford across the line now. And P7. So 4.8 seconds off of the pace. The boss also out on the track amongst some others. As we welcome our man of the moment. Here he comes. Better late than never. I speak all the way from Perth. Bob Hoskins! Bobby
Good
Hoskins!
evening, boys.
How are you going, my friend? Better late than never. You've perfect timing, in fact. You are ready for some fantastic... You're just in time for the race. Welcome to you.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you. Or thank you for welcoming me. Hey, I've just jumped in at the right time as well. Jimbledon is actually 0.3 of a second up.
Here we go. Well, that's more than enough for me to just... Jimbledon, was it? I think...
Yep.
Yeah, Jimbledon.
2:0. Well, he's on a 2:02.8. We knew that this would happen in qualifying. Of course, 2:02s would be the time to beat. As Wilco says, three commentators is what we want. The three goats. Thank you very much for that, Wilco. Big Shep. He knows a man down in Warrnambool at the Speedway there. Jimbledon across the line. I think he's improved, hasn't he? 2:02.6.
Yes. No, that's very handy.
That's very handy. So handy, in fact, can we see anyone getting close to that time, I wonder, boys?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have said so.
Gill's just come across the line and Diego's just coming through Murray's corner.
Here comes Diego. Across the line, still roughly a second and a bit of spare change off that time of a 2:02.6. Who else is doing some good things? Is that Skill going for another run, I think, through your picture? Here we go. We've got a couple of boys coming over the top of the mountain. Vintage Racer, 2.5 seconds off the pace. These times are a bit spread out, aren't they, tonight, boys? It's not quite as close as what we're used to seeing as the time ticks down to the end of this session. And that is a very nice Bentley there. Vintage Racer, so close. And you've got to give it 100% as the yellow flag's out for something. Maybe someone's had a bit of an incident there. Hopefully that doesn't affect a Vintage Racer who we're looking at now. Maybe Geordie got a touch of the wall coming over the top of the hill. But here comes a Vintage now. Who have we got? The number 7 car. I think we might have the Boss here. We might go in order. Here comes Boss coming up to the final corner now. He's 6.8 seconds off the pace. And it's a good thing you're here, Bob, because you can explain these rules to me once again. I've forgotten after a month's time. But the Boss coming around the final corner. Here he comes. Out and over the line. Can he improve? He does improve, but still 6.1 seconds off the pace. And we've got a couple of boys very close here on the track, don't we, Voodoo? I don't think they're going to affect each other, but here comes Geordie. Around the final corner, 4.8 seconds off the pace for him. Can he improve? Can he jump ahead of Matterford? No. Vintage, what can he do? not a great deal. So positions, Bob, not changing a great deal in the last 30 seconds or so. I think, have we got someone else?
No, I think Diego's just about to cement his second spot. I think he's currently just on the edge of 3/10 up at the moment.
So here's Diego now, 3/10 up.
Oh, it's jumped.
Oh, and he could. Is he going to go close to a 2:02 point? A 2:02. He'd probably be happy with the 2:02, wouldn't he? Anywhere in the 2:02s. Here he comes through the final corner.
Nah, 2:035.
Line 2:035. So there we have it. Jimbledon dominating. I say dominating, but clearly in front in this qualifying session with a 2:02.622. Plenty of twos in there. We had Richie Ben O'Day the other day, but Diego in second. Good run for him in the final part of qualifying. Skill in his third, 1.1 seconds off the pace. My Bingaling in fourth. Vintage in fifth. Matterford sixth, of course. Seventh and eighth for Geordie and DeBoss. And I've got to say, we were talking about the rules before, Bob Hoskins, but well, we can't call a safety car this week because, as we know, Bob, it caused a little bit of controversy last time.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think we were the flavour of the month just then. But, rules are rules.
That's right. Good thing we weren't flavour of that month, but it's a new month, of course, because it's been a month since we did this. So hopefully we can be the flavour of this month. I'm sure you know where I'm going with that, but we are about to go racing, and this is going to be a long one, Bob and Voodoo. But as we know, we can always see plenty of action. If there's one thing that Bathurst never fails to deliver, it's spiciness, Voodoo, isn't it?
Sorry, I got my mouth full with tubes. Yeah, it's
Part of me knew that.
Yeah, I've just been like, I found him in the shops the other day. Sorry to jump in this part of the segment, but I found him in the shops the other day. I'm walking through, just impulsively throwing everything I can into my trolley, go to the checkout. First thing I wanted to do when I got home was smash a packet of these. But back onto the track talk. I'm very impressed with Jimbleton in that Jag. The Jag, typically isn't a car that you see at the front of the grid. He's definitely a strong contender here, but are they going to be too wide for the first lap? There's going to be battles, and there's plenty to play for over the opening laps.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. You can see them lining up on the grid there. Congrats, Jim and Albert, 2 from 2 for pole positions. And Bob Hoskins having some connection issues there. We'll endeavour to do our best to get him back online. He has now left the party. Quick mention on the tubes, of course, though, Voodoo. Not only the fun size, the small packet, also, too, they have branched out into the bigger kind of party pack size. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a party by myself, so... I always go for the party pack with anything that you can find.
Great stuff. Try to pack actually on that subject as well, Voodoo. When it's just you put them in your mouth, it's like 1999 all over again. But here we go, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go! Not quite. We're almost there. We've got 90 minutes ahead of us. Good luck, boys. Thank you, Bell92. Diego's Fan Club says, nice qualifying, Diego. They would say that, wouldn't they, the Diego Fan Club, as we get ready to go racing. Jimbledon in a commanding pole position. Albert says the Jaguar is OP. So it's going to be interesting to see whether Jimbledon will streak away at the beginning. We shall wait and see. But here we go. We are ready. We are ready. You know the drill by now. Green, green, green means go, go, go here for the second event in the Driver Swap Endurance Cup as the drivers stream around. Turn 1 here at Bathurst. Jimbledon holds his lead off the line. Diego side by side there. I think Skilled might have his nose in front already, Voodoo. But Diego's not going to let him go without a fight. Binger slotting into 4th. Vintage 5th. Matterford 6th. Diablo, there's no one called Diablo. There's a Diego, though, and he's up into 3rd place. But he's lost 2nd position off the start line, climbing the mountain for the first time. Jimbledon just where he needs to be with that Jaguar power. Skill, though, not too far behind him. Then it's Diego. Binger Then Vintage, Matterford, Boss and Geordie rounding out your top 8 to start this race. And boy, oh boy, action aplenty. They are very, very close as we welcome back Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. There was a network issue, and then I've just tried to come in, and it says the server's full, so I'm blind.
There we have it. So great to have you back. Chimbledon, Skill, Diego, Binger, Bell. G'day, Bell. Please, no safety car. And we had our safety car powers taken away, of course, last race after a bit of controversy. There are yellow flags. So somebody's off at the back. Taylor, my daughter, is trying to break into the commentary box and ask Dad for another one of those cornettos. The box is in the freezer. But anyway, never mind about that because someone is off at the back. I think it's Geordie. We'll wait and get that confirmed. Is it number 50?
It's Diego.
52. Diego, I beg your pardon. So he's dropped down to the back of the field. Meanwhile, at the front, Jimbledon under all sorts of pressure from Skill, but he's made a mistake. He's made a slight mistake there, Bob, but these two at the moment, not even through lap 1, and they're checking out at the front already.
I'll have to be with you in a second. I've just got to try a reboot. Sorry.
It's all right. Take your time. Do what you need to do. As here we go. End of lap 1 now. Jimbledon leads from Skill. Don't you leave me, Voodoo. Never leave me, okay? Just promise me that. Vintage, getting it all wrong out of the first corner. And that is going to give Manafort a crack at him as he slots in behind him. And a bit of slipstream here as we climb the hill. Vintage, not a very big mistake, was it? But it's going to cost him dearly here to Manafort, Voodoo.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just gone back onto the replay just because I wanted to see what happened to Diego. He got a little bit hairy coming down Skyline and going through the S's. Unfortunately got the line wrong and it spun him around, but thankfully he got a minor collect to the rear of the car. Got it spun back around, but yeah, there's quite a bit of damage on that car.
Certainly is, and you can see there, I think we're just looking in the comments, first stop complete, Binger, I think it was. Diego right at the back, totally Mr. Consistent, says Bob. Thank you, Bell, says Bell to Bob. You know what I'm trying to say, Binger with the strategy, of course, pitting on lap 1, so a bit of a change up here at the back of the field, but at the front, at the sharp end, it's Jimbledon, 5 tenths ahead of this man, Skilled. We'll keep going through the order, we'll get back to that. Vintage, the man who got it all wrong coming out of turn 1, now back down onto Conrod Straight. He's got plenty of company, if you don't mind. What's that weather doing up there? Looking a bit cloudy at the moment. I think we got the 3 times time progression on, Voodoo, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
I
believe there's 3 times time progression, so we can only see the 2-minute and the 7-minute intervals.
Yep.
But ever since the 12-hour that we did over the weekend, the moment I see any clouds, I start getting worried.
Starting to get nervous as the comments are flooding in. Matterford now into the pits. Matterford into the pits, times 4 for the time progression. Sorry, we thought you might struggle to see that, Jason, given that you've had to drop back to 1080p graphics at 30 frames per second. It's not quite 4K, is it, in 60 frames? But good of him to come back and talk to us PS4 people. But there we have it, just kidding. 1 hour and 25 having gone in this race as we see Matterford coming into the pits. That's not very exciting. The boss is coming back. Where's the boss? There he is, up in P4. Vintage now in P3. So the field's spreading out a little bit already, and Wilco has informed us, Voodoo, that his eyes are hurting with this 1080p 30 frames per second business.
Yeah, it's understandable, you know. The PS5 version came out, in all of 2 days, maybe 3 days ago if we're lucky. He did a magnificent stream on it. I got to see the graphical improvements, other than a couple of bugs and stuff like that. But I mean, overall, the new performance from the PS5, it'd be such a big difference dropping from the new version that, you know, you're growing to love back to the classics. So yeah, I can understand where his eyes are hurting.
I'm assuming it's pretty good. I've never seen a PS5 in the flesh, but anyway, and if I do, it won't be there for very long, I can tell you. But Jimbledon leads on lap number 2 and I think he's coming up with some traffic. It might be Diego, I think. Who had that incident on the opening lap. So Skill now 2.1 seconds further back. They were very close, but now a bit of a gap forming between those two. The Jaguar, very nice car, and a couple of crashes by him. Yes, we did see that on the stream, Wilco. Thanks for reminding us. But Skill 2.1 seconds behind our leader, Vintage, 7.6, 2.7 further back to the boss. Geordie and Binger and Matterford have made their stops. Binger's made a stop. Matterford's made a stop as well. As Taylor in the background there. He's run out of ice cream. That's usually how she goes about it. But Diego are now right at the back of the field. And you've got to say, I say at the back of the field, still plenty of time left though, isn't there, Voodoo, in this race? You can do something. We saw last race get turned on its head up at the safety car. So if you hang in there, as we see blue flags being waved at the moment. And Diego making the leader go slightly the long way around, Voodoo, but the walls are pretty close up there. There's not a lot of space, is there, to move over and let somebody by?
Nah, not at all. You know, a rule of thumb in any enduro that I've ever been involved in around here, if you blue flags, just keep holding your line over the mountain. Slow down either on the ascent going up or the descent. It's honestly the safest opportunity that you have. So we'd recommend all drivers just hold your line through blue flags and just slow down once you get onto the straight.
Here we go then, Diego, between first and second, of course, but I'm sure once, I think... Oh, and somebody, is that Skilled? Is that Skilled? I saw him going backwards. Backwards there, and we've got a yellow flag out. That is not the place you want to have an incident here at Mount Panorama. And how far is the boss and Vintage behind him? There we go. I think I haven't seen him. I've seen
Geordie's gone past him. He did the right thing and waited.
Yep.
You know, it's not an easy part of the track to get turned around. But yeah, he did the right thing, waited for everybody to go, had a clear track, and he's back moving again.
So here we go. Like you said, he did the right thing. Nothing too silly. It's certainly... You're a man that's done plenty of laps around here, Voodoo. It's not something you want to see, is it, a car facing the opposite way coming over the top of that hill. But Skilled now down to fifth, so not great for his race. And that just really gives the advantage even more so to Jimbledon now, doesn't it? He's stretching out that lead as the comments section is going bananas. Let's have a look and see what's happening there. No Skill. Long way to go. That's right, Bell. Great stuff. Skill, not showing a great deal of skill there. Coming down the mountain as Bell, and great to have you with us, Bell 92. Long way to go, that's for sure, says the great man Wilco. 1 hour, 21 minutes and 5 seconds to be precise. And very unlucky Skill, says Albert. Buenos noches, Albert. But I've got to say, Albert, you're sitting pretty up there because your teammate Jimbledon is in P1, if you don't mind, by 12.769 seconds. And we might keep going through these teams. I don't think we touched on these, but we've got Skill and Aussie Thunder. He won't be quite as happy. Matterford and Branchy, PLE Goat and Isuzu Brian, the anti-vaxxer, of course. Binger and Wilco, the boss, and Mac. Geordie and Hef. Vintage and Sexy Rexy Buckingham, and Diego and Brocky, I believe. So they are the teams. Speaking of someone I haven't seen a great deal of tonight, Bob Hoskins, who is coming and going. He's spending more time going than coming into the party, that's for sure. But we're only 10 minutes into this race, and I think we may have lost Bob again. But if you're out there, Bob, Voodoo, join me in sending a message of support across the Nullarbor, letting know, Bob, that we are thinking of him, and we hope that he is found safe and well sometime soon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's never fun having technical difficulties, and hopefully we can get them sorted and get him back into the race, because Bob adds that extra element that we all need in our lives, and that's just comedy.
Absolutely spot on, never a truer word spoken. As Albert will be watching this, Albert saying, oh my goodness, my teammate has come into the pits. And that is true, Albert, because your man Jimbledon into the pits now. And why wouldn't you, of course, with such a healthy lead He couldn't join back. The server is full. Well, that's how popular these driver swap enduro races are, Voodoo, because we've got a full lobby here. There's no more room left on the dance floor here for Bob to join back.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder whether there might be an issue, server side, obviously, because there's 18 drivers. We can have 20 people, whether that's spectators and stuff like that. Accounting in yourself would be 19. I'm wondering if it might have bugged out and duplicated Bob's entry before, and unfortunately he can't connect back, but hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we'll be able to see him back into the lobby, because yeah, it's unfortunate not having him here.
It certainly is. We hope to get him back. So see, if this was PS5 or PC, none of this would ever happen, would it? But as Glenn says, when is Bob not having issues? Big Glenn Unit Sim Racing, thanks for joining us. I heard he has no issues on iRacing, Glenn. Thank you, thank you, Wilco.
Wait, sorry, I just got to jump in. G-Unit!
Big G-Unit. And there we go. Binger is P2. Effectively, there we go. So look at that. Big G-Unit. Going very nicely indeed. Thank you for watching along with everybody. Albert Wilco, Matterford P3 as well. So thank you for that nice early pit stop. Was it Matterford who made the early pit stop or the boss? I think it might have been the boss first and then Matterford second coming into the pits. As you can see there, Matterford now coming across the top of the mountain. Who will be the king of the mountain after 90 minutes around here this evening? That is going to be the question. You can see how close these cars get to the walls. And I've got to say, Voodoo, you're a man, like we said, you've done plenty of laps, hours and hours around this circuit. Is there ever a time when you can relax and feel comfortable? Can you get into a groove, or are you always on the edge at this track? Or can you relax at any point around here?
I honestly don't feel like you can relax. You know, we did a 12-hour race on Sunday. There was nearly 400 laps, and there's no point. You let your guard down once, and you're not going to be in that rhythm. So you just kind of, I say to all the drivers that I race with during these endurance races, you know, you drive to 98% of your capabilities and leave 2 extra percent for any mistake that might happen. This gives you that buffer to, you know, try and catch and lower the risk to damage. But yeah, no, like I say, the moment you lower any attention to the track, you know, you get complacent through a straight or something like that, yeah, you're just asking for trouble. So just stay wired, stay focused, go for good laps, and just be consistent.
Great stuff, great advice. Did you hear that? Everybody watching at home, that is experience from a 2-time champion, a man who's done thousands and thousands of laps around this circuit. And fantastic advice. Great to have you with us, Voodoo. Vintage, we're going to look at our race leader at the moment anyway, because he hasn't made his stop, has he? I don't believe. Vintage Racer 1967. And who's that in the background? Geordie as well. In second, but Jimbledon, where is he? 25 seconds. So he's come in, made a stop. And what is it? Is it 15 laps before they do the driver change, Voodoo? I'm trying to get my get the rule book out, I think. Yep.
Vintage is going around to be on the 7th lap. So effectively, he's got to have his pit stops done in the next 7 laps, because you'll be pitting on that 15th lap, and your second driver will be coming out.
So there we have it. Jimbledon now still doing very nicely indeed. The first 15 laps before Albert will jump into that car. And the Spaniard, very big favourite of mine. Not that I have favourites, of course, between the RPR and KRL leagues and the guys, but it's hard not to get favourites, of course. But as I said, I should say, I don't really have any favourites. And if you believe that, you'll believe anything, because lap 7 of this race, and let's see what the temperature's doing. We've dropped a couple of degrees here, Voodoo. I wonder whether that's going to affect the tyre temperatures, the track temperature. I'm sure it will, because it's dropped. It was 27, now down to 23. as we go through this ×4 time progression cycle. So you can see there that can have an effect, can't it, on the drivers and the tyres as well, in terms of keeping everything up to temperature.
Yeah, 100%. You know, as the track starts to get further on in the day and increase, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see low 30 degrees for track temp. But I'm fair sure Wilco's added in a chance of rain. So 4 times time progression is going to be extending that probability on whether it's going to come or not. You know, we've still got hour 15 of racing. Um, Still plenty of opportunities for things to happen, and you know, hopefully everyone could just keep it pointing in the right direction and keep those tyres in the range that they need.
There we have it. So lap 7 of this race. We might take a look. We do have a couple of battles here. One very close one. Look at this. Skill and the Boss. And this is very close, and Skill is all over the back of him. Look, but Voodoo, as they come close to the walls, I reckon the Boss just left some paint on that wall, if you don't mind. And now he's under all sorts of pressure here from Skill. Skill looked to have a go, but he's not going to quite get... where can he get this done, Voodoo? He's not going to get it done here, is he? Down
This is risky.
the outside.
I personally would just wait until Conrod, you know, just maximise that exit, keep the pressure on, and, you know, you'll have the corner down the end. So, you know, patience is probably the biggest game to play here if you're trailing people and stuff like that.
Here's his chance. Here's his chance to pounce. You're spot on, as Wilco's saying. Binger on full send mode. Unfortunately, the Nissan can only crack 205s, of course. But here we go, down Conrod straight. And Skill right up behind the Boss. Where can he get this move done? In fact, he might have already got it done, Voodoo, because he is through. Look at that. Fantastic move. Nice and clean. And you could always see it coming. And there we have it. He's got it done. And the Boss now, it's, well, the shoe's on the other foot. He's now got a chance to maybe get him back there, but Skill showing very nice pace, and he gets the move done.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was just textbook stuff, and, you know, it's, like I say, it's maximising your exit to get that good run, because you want to get a little bit of advantage before you're making your way up the mountain, just so you got a little bit of a buffer range. But, no, it was a solid move, textbook.
Great stuff. 10 people watching this stream. Keep those comments coming in. We would love to hear from you. The Boss now down into 7th. What's Diego doing? I think he's a lap or so down. Disappointing? Well, I'm sure he'll be disappointed, won't he, Voodoo? He started the race off, was it P2, I think it was? 8 or so tenths off of Jimbledon, but disappointing. Just bottled it on the first lap, and always tough to come back from there, isn't it? Despite it being an extra long race.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you hit a cement wall, and whether it's just a graze or, you know, a decent hit, you know, minimum, you're looking at a good 10 seconds of damage just from a light tap to a wall. But it's just a part of Bathurst, you know. It's the thing that keeps on bringing us back. It's just the massive adrenaline rush that you get. So, yeah, it's good to see these boys on the track, no matter where they're at or how things are going.
We can see on your screens at the moment that is 5th, 6th and 7th all in your picture, because the Boss just struggling a tad, and now he's got Geordie all over the back of him here, so this is going to be interesting to see. I think Geordie's a bit too far behind, I reckon, down Conrod straight, Voodoo, to make a move, but maybe on the next lap. Vintage probably going to come out near Binger and Matterford. So that is interesting. We'll have a look, a quick look to see Vintage. Where is he there? Vintage probably going to come out, like you said, Wilco, near Binger and Matterford. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. There's Jimbledon, doing very nicely indeed. All out on his own there. Binger in 3rd. And you can see, there's Wilco now, meaning, what do we got here? It means myself, Binger, Branchy, Matterford and Rex. Vintage all... we'll be having a battle in our stint. So like we said, there is a long way to go in this race, Voodoo, but well, if things are shaping up as Wilco is predicting they will, we might be in for a very spicy, interesting second part of this race. It's like we said, it's not all over yet.
Yeah, 100%. You know, like, normally you expect the quicker lads to be in that second stint, We can only imagine what the racing's going to be like, whether someone makes a mistake coming in a pit lane or, you know, any variable of things can happen, which is going to just bunch people back up again. But I think the most interesting thing I was about to say, Vintage hasn't made a pit stop yet, as he's making his way in now. But, everyone's down to that last pit stop now. I think Vintage might have just sped into pit lane, hopefully not. But yeah, I mean, they're still close racing. The boss is on the back of Geordie. Madford's chasing down the paddle pop car of Binger, and yeah, it's just good racing. That's what you like to see.
There we have it. Meanwhile, Geordie making moves while we were chatting on the boss. So Skilled made it past him. Now Geordie as well. Thank you for pointing that out, Bell 92. Albert and Jim are home unless they have an issue, says Wilco. But thank you for pointing that out. But like we said, Hawks and Collingwood drew in the end. Jesus, how long were they playing for? They got lights down there at Morwell, Wilco. What's going on? I thought we were home when we were 11 goals up in the third quarter, but interesting. Maybe I went a bit early with booking grand final tickets, but still a fantastic game of football nonetheless. At least we haven't lost so far this year, either side. But there we have it, lap 10 of this race, and Jimbledon Voodoo has taken over his rightful place with a number 1 next to his name. And Vintage is out of the pits. He was into the pits, now he's out of the pits. Not having a bad race. Binger. No, in fact, no, he's not, is he? Binger's up in second, I beg your pardon. Vintage down to 4th now, of course. And as we see, Skilled down there in 8th on his merry way. That's right, Wilco. The Pies ran out of legs after 6 quarters of footy. So this is the order so far. Now things are starting to look a little bit better here. Everyone's come in, done what they need to do in the pits. And with 1 hour, 7 minutes and 5 seconds to go, this is how it should be shaping up for the second part of this race. But like we said, it doesn't take much, does it? A mistake, grazing a wall, and then you're back to square one. So there we have it. Skill on your screen. 5th, Geordie, 9 seconds behind him. And then it's the boss. So why would the boss be struggling here, Voodoo? He just hasn't got the pace at the moment. We know that Nissan's not... the Nissan's been struggling, hasn't it, Voodoo, so far leading into this race? But having said that, Geordie flew past him, no worries, and he almost has a moment again.
Yeah, that was very close. I'm sure you were just on the boss during that. That was hair-raising stuff, 90% of the time, you're going to end up in the wall, and he managed to scrape away with that 10% of luck.
There we have it, Geordie now onto Conrod Strayed. We've got some other battles here, I beg your pardon. Let's get back to this, because coming through Murray's corner, Matterford bouncing over the curves. This is a man you earmarked pretty early on in proceedings to keep an eye on, and look at this. He's right up in Binger's business here as we come up to climb the mountain, lap 11. And, he's looking very nice indeed. Binger needs to make that Nissan as wide as he can, Voodoo, if he's going to keep that man in his rearview mirrors here.
Yeah, 100%. Badford just coming out of the 12-hour race. Unfortunately ended the way that it did, but, you can't discount the amount of practice and time that he's put into the track over the last week, 2 weeks, and he's definitely showing that with race pace right now. Gap was 2.5, 3 seconds, 4 laps ago, and he's slowly chipping away. It's going to be a very exciting finish, down to that time that they come into the pits on lap 15.
As you can see, the track started, the sun coming up, poking through the trees over there. It's always a great sight. And the track temperature a little bit warmer. Matterford, don't outbreak yourself, coming back down the mountain here. And you can see it doesn't take much, does it? Just pinch your brake. Next thing you're going into either one of the wall, the man in front, and in the Audi there you can see the number 2. And is he going to have a run here? Is he close enough? He gets a pretty good exit, but so does Binger. And this is going to be pretty close. Look at this. Binger, is he trying to avoid that slipstream there, Voodoo? Matterford might be too far back on this occasion.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too far back to make an opportunity here. Maybe on the run up, but I had a look at their average lap times, and you know they're both punching in the same laps. Padford maybe a couple of tenths quicker. But you know at the end of it, they're both really good competitors, drivers. You know they've both got the respect of each other, and you know that's what you want to be able to race bumper to bumper over the course of these intense laps.
Here we go. Might not have worked down Conrod, Chase and Murray's corner. As we come out of turn 1 through Hell Corner, it might work heading up towards Griffin's Bend here as we climb the mountain once again. Lap 12 of this race, only 3 to go until we see the drivers make their swap. Manafort, he looks awfully close this time around, a lot closer than what he was on the previous lap down Conrod Straight. Here he comes. Is he going to make a move? No, he's not. But like we said, he is very close. We might stick with this battle, I reckon. And Binger just giving as much width there as he could, I reckon. Like we said, that Nissan's a very wide car. The big yellow brick doing the work on that occasion. But how long? It's some great defensive driving, Voodoo. But how long can he keep him behind for? Coming across the top of the mountain yet again. Matterford looks very, very quick. You got to say it's a matter of when, not if. Here he goes. Is he going to make this stick, Voodoo?
Well, that was an opportunity. Oh, I can't even English. That was a very big opportunity, to say the least. You know, you're probably better just tucking in behind, get a good exit out of Conrod, or going on to Conrod, sorry, and you know, you would have made a lot more out of it. I mean, we'll see what happens at the end of the straight here.
Here we go. Matterford can have another crack here down Conrod Straight. Binger follows the same line again, moves across, trying to break that slipstream. I should try English as well. It's not a bad language, is it, if you could speak it? But here we go, Binger. Now you can see Vintage further back there. Don't forget about him. But Matterford's very close. Is he going to pull out and make a move? I reckon he is. There we go through Chase. There we have it. He can't quite get it done. Can he fully send it down into Murray's corner? No, he has a look. He has another look. He's looking, Voodoo, but he's not touching at the moment, which is good, because we don't want to see any touching going on. But Matterford still just flirting with us at the moment. He's still yet to get the move done.
Yeah, it's very good racing, you know. Madford's trying to pick out the right opportunity. Binger's making that banana paddle pop as wide as he can. You know, thankfully they haven't come together. But I was just going to say, another gap that I was watching come down over the last lap was the boss creeping up on Geordie. That gap's grown a little bit. The boss got a bad exit coming on a Conrod. I assume this is going to close in. The boss seems to have a bit of pace. So, yeah, there's definitely 2 battles to keep an eye on, but I think the main one's definitely Binger and Madford right now.
There we go. We're just checking that battle, Geordie and the boss. The boss, maybe those tyres have just come into their own and getting into the right temperature window, the right working range, and now he's coming back. It's just hard to take your eyes off this battle, though, isn't it, Voodoo? Matterford and Binger. Look at this. Oh, it's so close. You shouldn't be able to get through there, but that's a couple of times, Voodoo, that Matterford's trying it. Like you said, better off tucking in and trying down Conrod Straight. And you can see that he looks a lot closer this time around, but he was pretty close last time around. But here he comes. Is Binger going to do the same thing again? Can he make it 3 from 3? He goes across to the left, Voodoo, to cover that line, but it's going to leave, he's leaving space, isn't he, for Matterford if he wants to have a crack, but he's too far back again.
Yeah, unfortunately it's a little bit too far back. You just got to keep on prioritising your opportunities. You know, trying to make an opportunity dipping down into Skyline's probably not the right way of going about it. I've seen a lot of people crash and mistakes happen there. But the pressure's really on, you know. Madford's making him think, doing a bit of weaving manoeuvres now, you know, trying to get him a little bit of dirt. Just make himself as big in that mirror as he can.
Well, we've seen it before, haven't we? Flashing lights, just poking out and saying, I'm here. And don't forget about me behind him here. But Binger, he's a very experienced campaigner in that big square yellow Nissan banana of his. And I've got to say that he's making it extremely difficult for Matterford to get by here, and he's making that car nice and wide as it needs to be. And I'm sure if Bob Hoskins was still with us, he would be like, oh, wow, guys, that's amazing, isn't it? Oh, wow, yeah, hello, possums. And there, oh, Matterford, little bit wide there, if you don't mind, Voodoo, and that's going to affect him, I think, climbing the mountain once again. And my goodness gracious me, he was very close to that wall, but did not make contact, luckily for him.
Yeah, thankfully, that's all you can ask for is to not make contact. But, like I was saying a little bit ago, the battles, there's two good key battles. And that gap with the boss on Geordie, holy damn, these guys are going to be
Oh,
toe and toe
no!
as well going up. Oh, no.
And it's all
Oh,
gone
that's
wrong. I
unfortunate.
didn't see, I was just watching the comments, and that has gone terribly wrong. We might check out the replay on that one, but Matterford, after talking them up and how close it was close, unfortunately. We were saying about looking but not touching, Voodoo. Unfortunately, on that occasion, they did touch, and now that has put them both well back in the order here.
Yeah, it's sad to see. It was a move trying to go through McPhillamy and the Skyline. Unfortunately, Madford, just couldn't get the car rotated. He kept it out of the wall. I'm just trying to go back and see how Bingo went.
And we might check, we'll get back to that battle. We'll let you have a look at the replay, but this is the boss versus Geordie here now. The boss right up behind him once again. Gee, things are getting very close indeed, aren't they, here in this race? This has certainly made things very close indeed, Jason Wilkinson. And Geordie just touching that wall as he comes onto Conrod straight. Then the boss has a chance here. It is Nissan versus Nissan, the number 7 versus the number 22, Geordie and the boss. And here we go, the boss now. It's let's have a look to see if he can make any inroads here. Coming up towards the chase, I don't think so. I'm just trying to think of positives there for Matterford and Binger. I don't think they've lost a place, have they? Have they lost a place or not? I'm just trying to think. It didn't look like they got a great deal of damage out of that, as strange as it sounds, Voodoo.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Madford's only damage that he got was the contact with Binger. Binger unfortunately went into the right-hand wall, just kind of bumped the nose and came back onto the track, or sorry, back into the sand. So the sand did what it was meant to do, slowed the car down, saved it from extra damage. Just riding on board, car looks like it's a little bit of a handful, might have a bit of top speed damage, but I believe with lap 15, I could be wrong, but I think we'll be seeing pit lane.
Let's have a look. We'll get back to that battle in a moment. Jimbledon now. He'll be coming into the pits, won't he? That's right. As we see, we've got some more comments coming in. Skill is on the back of Binger right now. Yep, we were spot on. There's Jimbledon coming into the pits, and you can see we'll get back to Skill, who is getting very close indeed. Look at that, right on the back of Binger there. And if Binger was the Ukraine... No, we won't go with that. But Binger, as you can see there, in third. Skilled in fourth. I was about to say Skill might be Russia, but down Conrod straight. But we're going to see them coming in. So you don't want to do anything too silly. But Skilled says, you know what, Kid Byers, I'm going to do it anyway because he's through. Wow, what a move from that man. Big thanks to Bell92 for giving us the heads up on that one, because that was a fantastic move. Done and dusted before they come in and swap their drivers over.
Yeah, absolutely. Any opportunity that you can get to make a move is going to be good. But I was just going back on the replay because I clicked on the in-car view of Madford and I saw a lot of damage. He came through McPhillamy, got onto the curb right before Skyline. That was, like I say, you've got a 90% opportunity to die there, and you've got that 10% opportunity that you're going to survive. Unfortunately, Madford cops the short end of that 90%.
So you're still saying there's a chance, Voodoo, and that's what we like. But you can see the damage, can't you, Voodoo, on Madford's car there? It's very severe. There's those rather strange-looking marshals on the pit wall there. If that was a PS5, I'm sure the graphics would be a little bit better than that. But anyway, someday. Geordie coming into the pits now. The boss right behind him. Diego is coming into the pits as well. So there we have it. And you can see Prince Albert is on his way. The man from Melbourne, the Spaniard. This man, fun fact, he said he was going to, he wants me to learn Spanish so we can go down there to Albert Park and cheer on Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso. And Buenos Nachos. That's about the extent of it at the moment. I've got 1 month, Voodoo, to learn fluent Spanish. No pressure at all, as Albert sitting pretty out the front now after the beautiful work done by his teammate.
Yeah, that was excellent driving by Jibbleton. Man was just, consistent mid to high 203s. You could see the tyres starting to fade towards the end, but something which I want to add, we haven't really given notable mention to, is Diego's comeback. That he was, I reckon I saw it 42 odd seconds back from P7, coming into pit lane 11.5 seconds. That's pretty steep climb from him.
Very, very impressive. That's what are we? 16 laps. That's pretty quick, isn't it, Voodoo? That's some really great pace and a great comeback from Diego there.
Yeah, man had nothing to lose and just went full attack. There's always those what ifs. I always talk about what ifs in endurance races.
And we're hearing word, Voodoo, that Matterford might have gone around as well at some stage. Hence that extra bit of damage there we saw. Matterford yet just confirming that. Mm-hmm. Oh, I went around hard, Mads. That's not great. Not great for you. As we take a look now, we've got Albert in P1, Aussie Thunder P2, and now Wilco all up in his business after the good work from Binger. Taking over that square yellow banana Nissan. And boy, this has set up things rather nicely for the next 52 minutes or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Wilco on the back of Aussie Thunder. Aussie's been progressing so much as a driver. I've been very impressed, watching the races that he's been doing over the last bit. Very, very impressive to say the least. Hef as well. I haven't seen that man on the track in a very long time. But obviously it's great to see him there. But, I mean, you look at it, these drivers in this second split, there's a lot of driving to do. Anything can happen. I'm just looking forward to seeing who's going to gain and what's going to happen over this next 50 minutes.
There we go. You can see 50 minutes still to go. So like we keep saying, a long way indeed. As you can see there, first, second, third, Wilco right behind Aussie Thunder. Sexy Rexy. Also known as Rex Buckingham 46. Vintage has jumped out. Rexy has jumped in to the Bentley, and now he's down in a net fourth place. Branchy come in over. We saw a few branches there, but it was the cameraman just off in the trees somewhere. But there we have it. So Branchy now also out there in the damage is all fixed up now, ready to go. So the pit crew's been busy. Mac Miller, Brocky as well. Brocky, I heard that he was showing a little bit of pace, but we'll wait and see whether that translates into tonight. As Jimmy Stoddard says, whoa, I'm sweating buckets after that stint. Fantastic stuff. Jim Stoddard. Who's Jim Stoddard? Jimbleton, that's right, of course. Yep. Jeez, Trevor, you idiot. But fantastic stuff. You couldn't do any more. No wonder you're sweating, because that was a fantastic opening stint of this race. We've still got 50 minutes to go, and we still don't know what's going to happen. What's the GOAT doing down there? What's the GOAT doing? He's sitting in the pit lane. It's Voodoo's the GOAT. It's a joke there. But it's a PLE GOAT. Rightio. He's in 17th place, Voodoo. Sorry, Team Radio, I cut you off there. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Sorry, I thought you were actually talking about GOAT. To call me a GOAT, I think I'm a little bit past the prime. I'm aging a little bit. You can only age as good as a fine. Why? As I watched the GOAT go into the wall, but you can only age as good as a fine wine.
Looks like we're sacrificing a GOAT here at the moment, Voodoo. We won't ask you too much about that, because
going back to pit lane.
he's in the wall, and that is the end of his. Oh no, he's got it back, has he? He's got an awful lot of damage there. I didn't think he'd get that back. As he comes back down the mountain, he's going to use gravity as his friend here, but he's in all sorts of trouble here. And might be time to sacrifice this goat after all, Voodoo. You're one known for the dark magic and all sorts of spells. You were organising for me to sell my soul for a PlayStation 5. It's certainly something I heard a little bit earlier on in the week, but we'll wait and see what happens with that. That can be arranged, you said. But Hef is... Where is Hef? He's down there all on his own.
Oh, quickly, sorry,
Yep.
Trev. Brocky and Mac. Brocky just got past Max, so that's probably a good battle to check in on.
Good stuff.
Sorry,
Let's check.
I'm just going to duck off for 2 seconds.
That's all right. Let's grab another pack of those tubes because Brocky is through ahead of Mac Miller. Haven't called his name very much lately, but it's great to see him out on track. Beautiful shot there as the cars come over the mountain. The sun beginning to shine through the trees here at Mount Panorama. Who will be king of the mountain in the Rising Phoenix Racing Kid Buyers Racing League Driver Swap Endurance Cup? It's not a cup, is it? It's only one of 2 events. We were at Monza in January, of course, last time around, and now we're back at Bathurst here in February. 48 minutes. Where has the time gone, Voodoo? As the Nigerian prince tries to work some of his black magic to get me a PS5. And my wife is like, what on earth is going on in there? But anyway, Brocky in fourth place. I beg your pardon. No, he's not in 4th place. Totally losing the plot here, Voodoo. Hopefully you're back online.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. I just had to go and turn the lights off for my little friend. I got a not so little bearded dragon today. So, 1.5 years old. Man is massive. But yeah, just had to quickly put him to bed.
Great stuff. 9:06, a little bit past his bedtime. Is it a late night for him, or what's the usual sort of cycle with the dragons?
Yeah, normally they have their lights on for a 12-hour cycle. But because today, obviously picked him up this morning, we spent the day out, he spent the time in the sun. It's so easy to get carried away in a race that, you kind of get sidetracked. And yeah, I just thought while the battles are going, I might just quickly duck off. But yeah.
There we have it as great stuff. Rex. Sexy Rexy getting it a little bit wrong there as Scott Jordanson, far out only driving mid-engine cars. The old GTR at Bathurst is tough, no doubt about that. This track can come back to bite you at the best of times, no matter how well you're travelling. Great to have you along, Geordie. Diego says, did someone say safety car? Did someone say a safety car? No, I don't think so. Maybe not at this stage, Voodoo.
Diego, I'll do you a deal. If you quickly sell your soul, we'll call a controversial safety car and guarantee it will never come back.
Now, what is the Simpsons? Remember, the minute you finish it, I own your soul for all eternity. Oh yes. Oh, this is always so much easier in Mexico, isn't it, Voodoo? There's no trials or anything, but. Maybe I can get out of that. Maybe I sign my soul away to my beautiful wife the day I got married. So there we go. That might be. We'll have to ask the legal team on that one. As Wilco there, still doing what Wilco can do, which is not a lot though. But behind Aussie Thunder, where's Albert? Albert, he's probably just out the front at the moment. Like we said, you can never be too complacent. But the second you get too complacent around this track, it comes back to bite you in the arse. But boy, oh boy, that number 54 Jaguar is looking very nice out front. He's probably thinking, which tapas restaurant do I take Kid Buyers to for Grand Prix weekend in a couple of weeks' time? That's probably all he's thinking about at the moment, but you cannot relax too much, Voodoo.
Oh, not at all. I thought I'd go and do a quick check-in, see how everybody's lap times are doing. Just to put into a perspective, we're just going to start calling Albert Mr. Consistent. His last 2 laps, exactly identical. 2:03.507. And that lap that he just finished, 1/10 back. So that Jag has got a lot of race pace, 2 very quick drivers. And you can only hope maybe he'll slow down a little bit just to let everybody jump back in and have a good race.
Let's hope so. There we can see Albert. Mr. Consistency is the new name, or Zhuang Jiping. No, that's not right. That's Chinese in the Google Translator. It is consistencia. Consistencia. There we have it. I knew that sounded a little bit funny there, Voodoo, but anyway, we've managed to get the right one. Or should we be learning Russian? That's a good question, the way they're going. But I only know 2 words, da, which is yes, and niet, which is no. And I don't think I'll be saying niet too much to Vladimir, the way he's travelling at the moment. No, all seriousness, thinking everybody over there, of course, it's a tough time. I've got to say, the last couple of years have been crazy, Voodoo, but I never thought I'd see a war on the cards there. But anyway, crazy times. It's a different world, isn't it? But Albert, Mr. Consistency, is coming up behind Hef. Blue flags are out. Is he going to let him through without any dramas? I think so here, Voodoo.
Yeah, your best bet is, just let the blue flag situation subside. At least that gets you out of that pressure and just jump back in as draft, You'll be surprised sometimes what you can gain from that. So hopefully we can still see him up the fighting end of the grid, but, good race so far.
Consistencia. There we have it. And there we go. Just what? There's Mr. Thank you very much. There we go. We don't want to sort of... yeah, there we go. So Albert across the line now. He's pumping in some really good lap times now. He's really on it, isn't he? Fantastic stuff. So Albert Thunder is second. Where's Wilco? So that gap pretty steady at the moment. Sexy Rexy joining onto the back of this pack, though. Look at this, second, third, and fourth. Might even be third, fourth, and fifth, I beg your pardon, all together, Voodoo. So interesting battle coming up here.
Yeah, absolutely. I always like to go quickly check lap times, just to see how the gap's progressing. Rex is pretty much a second quicker than Wilco and Aussie, but Wilco and Aussie are putting in about the same lap times, so it makes sense as to why that gap isn't really gaining, but it's not decreasing either as Wilco jumps into pit lane.
Into the pits, here comes Wilco into the pit lane. We might jump on board with Sexy Rexy, you can see there. Big Shep says, I only know 1 word, Trev, and that's vodka. Well, that makes it 3 words that we know now, so we're getting there. Not quite fluent Russian, but we're getting closer should we need to use it. Sexy Rexy goes through. Wilco comes into the pit lane. So interesting strategy from Binger and Wilco, tending to come into the pits on the earlier side of things, Voodoo. I wonder what that's all about. Interesting strategy.
Yeah, very interesting. They're still so long in the race. Whether it was they went out on lower fuel for the start to try and maximise, and now they're putting in a decent amount of fuel to get them through that final pit stop. But yeah, it's interesting. We're going to have to kind of just watch to see what happens.
It's a waiting game, that's for sure. It's we're in... Oh, Rex, what are you doing there, mate? Just brushing up against the BP Ultimate sign there, coming across the top of the hill. Big Shep down there at the Warrnambool Speedway. Fantastic stuff. I used to live down in Warrnambool. I know I tell this story every single evening, Shep. But yeah, I grew up in Warrnambool many, many years ago. Great part of the world down there by the Great Southern Ocean. A little bit cold, a little bit windy in the winter time. And a little bit busy now in the summers from what I hear down there. But Sexy Rexy, where is Wilco coming out? Wilco is in front. No, he wouldn't be in front of Albert, would he? He's a long, long way back. So that's... Gee whiz, it just shows he doesn't have the dominance of Albert and Jimbledon in this race. They're a fair way ahead, aren't they? But like we said, still 40 minutes remaining. So Wilco into the pits, out again. And you can see there, Thunder second, Rex in third, fourth. Now for Branchy, the flag's waving for something. No, I must have been seeing things. Branchy now. And this team had a tough run, didn't they, after the end of that first stint with... it was all going so well, wasn't it, before those incidents with Matterford?
Yeah, you can only race so close to each other over the course of such an intense lap. There's always bound to be a small mistake. Bathurst is very well known for just loving to claim victims and destroy cars. So, like I say, thankfully everyone's been able to keep it on the track. The second stint for all the drivers has been quite good, and the battles are consistently showing as Albert's passing Wilco now.
As there we have it. So somebody's gone off the track. Is that Branchy who's gone off the track? There we go. He just went straight on at the first corner. And Jim says, thanks, Geordie. Really cool series of races, this one. And Scott, Geordie says, where is Bob Voodoo? Would you care to tell us, first of all, what you've done with Bob, with your magical dark voodoo powers that you've managed to... You've made him disappear, haven't you? He did have tech issues, thank you, Bell, and the server was full, too full, in fact, for him to join back. But that is why we're missing him. We're missing him terribly. And if you can hear us, Bob, please just let us know you're okay in the comments or something, Voodoo, just to put our mind at ease. Would be fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. We did a bit of a summoning ritual to get him here, and then we sent him to the Shadow Realm, and he's probably yelling at us somewhere. But it's unfortunate we couldn't have the RPR guys in the commentary. Bob here representing RPR, but as a whole, we're representing both leagues, both great platforms to be a part of. So it's the community spirit that matters.
There we go. RPR and KRL getting it done. Fantastic partnership. Thank you as Aussie Thunder peeling off into the pit lane. That's going to give Sexy Rexy, who was right up behind him. You can see the damage, can't you, to that number 46 Bentley on the right-hand side, driver's side of that car. And Big Shep, Wilco out on a Sunday drive. Come on, Wilco, put the pedal to the metal. And there we have it. You can see he's giving him the hurry up. 17 seconds, I think, Wilco down there. But he has made his stop, Voodoo, which is very helpful. He's in clear air here.
Yeah, that's what he needs. Hopefully he can maximise what he can, but that Jag, I'm still sitting back going, God damn, that Jag is so quick. I was not expecting it at all.
As there we have it, Mads saying, can you slow down a bit next time, Jimbledon? Good stuff. It's funny, isn't it? We sort of had the safety car business last month, and that we just to sort of spice things up a little bit. And we've had a couple of calls for a safety car again, but I'm in the Michael Massey camp at the moment. I'm a bit too, we don't want to do anything like that. We might lose our jobs, Voodoo. But there we have it. So 12 people, 13 people watching this stream now. It is great to bring you this race as we look at Jason Wilkinson. And there we have it, Geordie. You guys are great. It is one community. RPR is the better half, though. What's that? We might have to get rid of that comment, Geordie. Let me just get rid of that comment here on the stream and put that RPR and put a KRL in there. No, just kidding. It is a great partnership between the two, and it's always good to see a full grid as well. We know that the next generation version of this game came out recently, and that looks fantastic with 4K visuals and frame rates. I can only imagine, Voodoo. But anyway, unless you've got a $3,000 graphics card or a PS5, someday I will get that. But I've got to say it is fantastic as we've got a yellow flag out. What is that for, Voodoo? If somebody is number 13. Who's... is it the GOAT?
Yeah, he's removed himself from the race. So, just to put into perspective, I'm fairly sure GOAT came into this as a solo driver tonight. Unfortunately, his teammate couldn't make it, so he had to sit out the first 15 laps, watch the proceedings happen. And you can't discount he put in as much as he could tonight. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way. That's Bathurst things. That's just Bathurst on its own. It's that gamble. Is it going to go your way? Is it not going to go your way? Just got to find out.
Always a tough question, and I've got to say, Jim Stoddart Jimbledon says, hold on, don't underestimate the combination of a Spaniard and a Kiwi. Fantastic stuff. They seem to be the dream team at the moment here with 34 minutes to go, Voodoo, but you never know. Like we keep saying, this place can bite you in the backside if you're not careful. In fact, I just felt like talking a bit like that. But sure, I don't know whether it pisses them off or what it does. Who cares? It sounds good from in here, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. There we have. Actually had fish and chips for lunch today. I'm not even kidding. Ask my wife. But there we have it. Lap number... What lap are we on here? I think we six laps in. I've lost my train of thought. There we go. Don't underestimate the Jaguar, that's for sure. That's a safe bet. But here we go. Alberto and Sexy Rexy there. Branchy. Where are the close battles on the track? Thunder
I see Brocky's right behind Hef coming through McPhilly into Skyline now. That's probably the closest one that I can find. They're literally... Ooh!
And was that a bit of argy-bargy there, Martin? You're right there, Murray. And was that a bit of a nudge? I didn't quite see. You might have been on board very soon. I know Hef's got some damage on the front there, but now that's going to give an opportunity for Brocky to dive through. What a move from Brocky. And he is through. Didn't even need Conrod straight. He's got that move done over Hef. Great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was a little bit of contact right before Skyline, which probably put a fair amount of nerves into Hef, but, you know, at the end, it was up to him to choose a move. What are you going to do? But great moves throughout, you know. Oh, there's a car backwards.
As we've got somebody backwards, there's a yellow flag out. And Hef... What on earth's happening there? What did those polystyrene sponsorship hoardings ever do to you? He's just gone and mowed them down, and now he's in the pits. What on earth happened there? And he's in the pits. I'm not sure what went on there. Okay, that's interesting. But anyway, I forgot. I was trying to look for... Was it the number 3? No, I don't think it might have been... Was it Branchy, or who was facing the other way? We'll wait and see.
Yeah, it was... Branchy doing a bit of mowing simulator on the grass.
There we go, as Geordie says, all seriousness, freaking awesome, great stuff. Thank you, Geordie. Dean Ski says, go, Aussie, go. Let's hear it, Aussie Thunder, your man doing very nicely indeed. But with 32 minutes, 7, 6, 5, 4... we are counting down now, half an hour or so to go and some spare change as well. 32 minutes here at Mount Panorama. We keep saying it, who is going to be crowned King of the Mountain tonight? And it'll be a safe bet. And this is a man who traditionally, Mr. Consistionze, this man does not like Bathurst, does he, Voodoo? But he seems to be doing a pretty good job at the moment, all set up as well by Gibbled and his teammate.
Yeah, they've just been the dominant drivers over the course of the day, and I think next time, 100 kilos of ballast or something, you know. You know, you can't discount driver ability, and, you know, it's good to see Albert. Hopefully he's having a good time on the mic, but, you know, he looks like he's having a good drive.
There we go. Great stuff. He's doing fantastic. And take it from me, carrying around 100 kilos of extra ballast, it's not that easy, is it? But especially... that'd make things a little bit closer as he's coming up to some lap traffic. I think it's Mac Miller up there, as Dean says, nice Aussie gained on Rex. Aussie gained on Rex there. What we got? Aussie, Albert, Branchy, Thunder Rex, Sexy Rexy, and Wilco now is only, 1.7 seconds behind Rex, I think. So that's getting very close as well with half an hour left.
I think Wilco's gone past Rex. Yeah, Rex had a moment going through the S's, kind of went into the wall and then took a bit of an excursion into the wall coming into Conrod. So hopefully he'll come in, maybe get that last pit stop done, repair a bit of damage. It looks like he's really struggling with the car right now.
And it looks like it's a little bit of a handful. I think we might have somebody... No, I beg your pardon. I thought someone was coming into the pits there. Oh, in fact, they are. Yep, Rex is coming into the pits. Like we said, that car looking a little bit of a handful at the moment. Voodoo, as you can see him coming into the pit lane there. Mac Miller down Conrod Straight. Brocky up over the top of the mountain. So you can see there 6 or so seconds between Wilco and Thunder now. We're just waiting for the camera to catch up. There's Wilco now. Less than half an hour remaining in this race. So you've got to say it's Albert and Jimbledon's to lose. But we've seen some funny things happen. And we've got another battle there. We've got Mac Two cars, I should say, very close on track, but of course that is not for position. Voodoo Albert coming up at a very vast rate of knots, but good to see Mac minding his own business down there and doing very nicely indeed, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. There's so many drivers that, constantly impress me, from the series that we've ran and, the track time that I've spent with them to see how far they've come since then. Even some of the RPR drivers that I've been watching recently, everyone's progressing so much, and that's what you want to see for your drivers is constant progression. You know, as always, you ask for help where it's needed. There's so many people that are more than willing to give their 2 cents and offer that assistance, whether it's setup, a bit of track knowledge. It's all valuable, all valuable.
Certainly is, and it is fantastic to see. Like we keep saying, this lineup here tonight, and big shout out to Bob as well. I think we may have lost Bob for the evening over there, but I hope he's doing all right. It was great to hear from him, and it was precious the time we got to spend with him. Mac, no, that's not where you want to be going over the top of the hill there. And no, he's got that back. That's okay, but we need them to process to. Here we go. Try English again. Jeez, I'm struggling, Voodoo. Thank you, though, for sticking with me. Mad's saying we need them to process to PC. As you can see there, Mac Miller all on his own, having a bit of a moment there on that last lap. Wilco now 6.4, I beg your pardon, behind Aussie Thunder. And Aussie Thunder coming up to Rex, but that is not for position. We can see that Rex's internet connection doesn't look awfully great there. I'm guessing that's what that red bar is. Sort of next to the maker's name there, between the name, the PSN ID. I'm not too sure. I'm sure that's what it is, but he's a long way back. But, well, made his pit stop, though, and we'll wait and see where he goes before the end of this race. But Thunder does not want to get into any trouble here, does he, coming across the top of the hill once again. And you can see waving blue flags there. So Rex, pretty decent driver. I'm sure he'll just try and jump out of the way. It is hard, though, isn't it? You can't evaporate, can you, Voodoo, over the top of the mountain?
Oh, definitely not, Sometimes focusing on the mirror, constant blue flag warnings coming through, it puts a lot on the mind. But, Rex has done his pit stops. Aussie's still got one to go. Whether Aussie goes for a bit of that draft, maybe maximise a little bit, it could be something to play for. But, he does have to think that he's got Wilco coming 6 seconds back. Is it worth diving into the pits, get that last bit of fuel that you need for that, 26 odd minutes remaining, and just drive it home and just work on those laps? No traffic, just laps.
No pressure as well. Dean saying no. I think that might be in reference to Mads' remark about the PC. But 26 minutes, we're counting down here as we see Thunder going through Murray's Corner once again to complete another lap. What do we got? Albert only... so I think the second lot of drivers here this evening are only... As we tick over to 18 viewers, Voodoo. 18 viewers. And I'd like to take this opportunity to announce my retirement. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'll be in this caper for a while. I'm going to say, while we've got the most viewers, 19 viewers online, everybody out there, jump across to V is for Voodoo. Jump across to the great man Cameron's Voodoo YouTube channel and subscribe and get over on Twitch. Quick, what's the link? We've got 20 people on Voodoo. Quick.
V is for Voodoo Live on Twitch if you want to go and check me out. But before you do that, you've got to like the video and you've got to subscribe to Trev.
V for... Oh, Jesus, it's 21 now. V is for Voodoo on Twitch. So get that app, get on and watch the great man, because some impressive numbers last time around from the 12-hour event, wasn't it, Voodoo, from memory?
Oh, that was insane. I was not expecting that kind of viewership, and at the end of it, all credit to the team for getting us through that race and overcoming all the challenges that Bathurst is for 12 hours. But yeah, it was just record numbers for me, and it's just a beautiful community that we've got. RPR, Kid Boys, just the community that we have here is definitely the one that helps me thrive on foot.
That's great stuff, and it is a community. We love it, like we said, with a bit like with KRL and RPR, and a fantastic race. I tuned in when I could as well, sitting in the McDonald's drive-through, large quarter-pounder meal. Don't forget the Big Mac sauce, the barbecue chili sauce, the onion rings as well, and would it kill you to put in 10 nuggets? Would you like the receipt? No, that's okay. I'm watching Voodoo race around Bathurst, but thanks anyway, and there we go. So 24 minutes. 3, 2, 1, 0. And now less than 24 minutes. In fact, it is Albert who might, this table might just right itself, I think, soon. What is he, one lap further back from where Jimbledon was? So these boys now starting to get back. I beg your pardon, it says 2 laps, but there we go. So it's not too far away. So Albert still doing nice things out front, as well as Thunder. It showed us Wilco, but there's Thunder and there's Wilco. So what is that? Only 5 seconds now? 23 minutes to go, Voodoo.
Yeah, that gap's been coming down, over the last couple of laps. I don't know how many, but at least over the last 4 or 5 laps, that gap's come down by a second. So whether Wilco's finding the smoother lines and obviously trying to push to, concede a position, I think it's going to be 10 to 23 minutes, that's for sure.
There we go. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Dean is pretty adamant he will not be paying $3,000 for a PC just for racing. So he's made it pretty clear. He's making a stand here, this man, Dean. Thank you, first of all, for joining us. These numbers are absolutely fantastic. Not paying $3,000 for a PC. Well, let me think about it. What did I pay for it in the first place? A bit over $1,000, yeah, plus the $700 T50i, SSD, extra bit of hard drive space, the mechanical drives, the SSD drives. Yeah, I guess it'd be getting close. Maybe not $3,000, but it'd be getting close. Hopefully my wife heard none of that. But there we have it. So didn't have to read that. Thank you, says Dean. And that is fantastic stuff. But here we go, as we've got Albert into the pits and out of the pits. What does that mean for this race? Well, it probably doesn't mean a great deal because he's sitting pretty out in front. And we know what Spaniards are like when they're leading races. We've seen Alonso do it. I haven't quite seen Sainz do it yet. Maybe Carlos Sainz Sr., of course, in the World Rally Championship many, many years ago. But a Spaniard in P1, it sounds pretty good, and they're pretty comfortable up there, aren't they, Voodoo?
Yeah, that Jag, I've been sitting here for ages, I think, since I saw the qualifying times come in, and I don't know, this is the quickest I've ever seen a Jag, it's so competitive amongst these cars, and I'm fair sure they've struggled in the last couple of weeks, the round that we did at Monza, a couple of weeks ago, they were struggling a little bit there, but whether it's the Bathurst scenario, everything piles in as one, and sometimes you just keep it off the wall, and that's what you need.
There we go. As Geordie just entering the debate about the $3,000 PC. He says a $3,000 PC enables you to also load those spam emails so much quicker. You can use the what is it? The RAM, the CPU, the SSD, or whatever it is, and you can get those spam emails coming your way. Oh, very quickly indeed. Thunder a little bit wide there. I thought that was going to be a mistake, but he has been absolutely on it. As just a tick over 20 minutes remaining in this one. The comments flooding through. Geordie and Dean, they are up and about in the comments section. You can see that. And Bell enjoying it as well. Bell 92. This is fantastic. Dean, Geordie and Bell. At one point we had 21 people watching the stream. And you notice that's where I decided to put the plug in for your Twitch channel, Voodoo, which was fantastic stuff. Perfect timing. Dean saying he already gets enough spam text, so he's all good. But there we have it. The comments, keep those coming in, boys. Loving the banter here tonight. Friday night, it's Project... it's not Project... Jesus Christ. It's not Project Cars, is it? I'm back in 2017. It's Assetto Corsa Competizione. Don't tell Jason I said that. But speaking of which, here he is. 5 seconds now. That gap still steady. Thunder not putting a foot wrong here with less than 20 minutes left.
Yeah, that final 20 minutes is definitely the most tense scenario. I'm a little bit sad we haven't seen any rain. You know, like I wanted to see how they'd handle the rain, but I was just reading the comment by Jimbledon. You know, he said the Jag's very hard to set up, and I've never driven it, so I'm not too sure how hard it is. But you know, for Jimbledon to say it's a tough car to set up, but like he said, 283 k's an hour down Conrod into the braking zone. That's that's plenty of pace. You know, that's very competitive amongst your mainstream GT3s.
As we see a Brocky into the pits. And no, Voodoo's not in the pits. He's been in there all race. In fact, yep, spot on. Thank you, Jim. Great comment there. As Wilco now, the time is the last half an hour or so has absolutely flown by, hasn't it, Voodoo? We mentioned before around this circuit, you can get into a bit of a groove, can't you? And the time can just race by. And before you know it, your 12 hours is gone. But no, it's once you get into that groove, it's a special place to be, isn't it, as a racing driver?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the groove's the only thing you can ask for, but what I want to ask for is a safety car.
A safety car?
Like, just a bit of controversial to end it off. No.
Well, Branchy might need a safety car at the moment. You can see on the left-hand corner of your screen he's 2,135 seconds, 0.055 behind. So, there we go. It's fixed that up. But what does the Aston do down the straight? That's a good question, Dean. What does the Aston do down the straight? That's a very good question. You'd probably know that better than me, Voodoo.
That was just under 280 then
just
from Rosie.
Under 280, Dean. So there we have it. Jimmy says we just took tyres just to remain consistent. So there you have it. Your man still sitting pretty at the moment. Wilco flirting with the pit lane. He's into the pits. We're getting a bit bored looking at that, so we might look at someone else. Let's have a look at what Mac Miller's doing. The marshal waving a blue flag. Only problem is Mac's out all on his own. So he doesn't have to get out of anyone's way. And you can see there. Thank you, Dean. Great. Keep your questions coming in. Hope you're enjoying this live stream on your Friday night. Have a fantastic weekend, Dean. And don't you worry about that $3,000 PC, because nobody is going to make you buy that PC anytime soon. And if they do, let us know here. Voodoo at Nigerian Prince 1642 at hotmail.com/dark magic. And you can let Voodoo know, Mac, no, that's not where you want to go. Getting very close to the BP Ultimate sign. What's Diego doing? He's into the pits, wanting a safety car. Brocky, there he is, out onto the track. And back, well, he's always been out on the track, I should say, I beg your pardon. What's Hef doing as well? This is not a man we've called too much here tonight. A little bit of damage on that car. Great livery, though. A bit of a throwback to the old Gran Turismo days. But, well, the Hef, he's still circulating the oil, isn't he, Voodoo? He's still running.
Yeah, that's what you like to see. You know, you can have X amount of challenges thrown at you, moments you weren't ever expecting, but what you love to see is a driver continuing, pursuing, just hitting that checkered flag, That's an accomplishment on its own.
Certainly is. To finish first you must finish. Or in Hef's case, about 9th or something. But still, great stuff. You've got to get to that checkered flag at the end. And as Ayrton Senna would say, I was no longer conscious. I was driving in the tunnel, and the tunnel was opening up. And, talking about that groove, or something like that. It was a long time ago that I watched that movie, but a great movie as well. But Hef now 3 laps off the pace, I'm guessing, at the moment. So he is he's still, like we said, still running there. How good, in fact, how good. I'll tell you how good Rex Buckingham is. I just love saying that name, don't you, Voodoo? It's a fantastic name, Sexy Rex Buckingham 46. And Jim says, cheers, mate. Gutted you dropped off. Was looking forward to another battle. And that's Michael Heaton saying about how good is Rex Buckingham. We're going to have a look at Rex at the moment. Thank you for your comment there, Michael. Great to also have you with us on the live stream tonight. 15 minutes to go until the end of this race. It's the final countdown. Better not do that, because I think my daughter's just gone to sleep there, and if she wakes up, life will be... Well, it'll be interesting, that's for sure, because my wife will come in and tell me to shut up in no uncertain terms. But Sexy Rexy, looking good at the moment. Looking very good, in fact. Where is he? Down in P6. We're starting to see these times sort of update, aren't we, Voodoo, to reflect the amount of laps that the second stint of drivers have done here.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before it creeps up, and Rex is getting close to Mac. Mac's just coming on a Conrod now, and Rex is coming into the Forest Elbow, so it's just a part of, trying to keep it on the track and point it in the right direction. But as I see, Rex seems to be struggling with the Bentley. I'm not too sure how the Bentley handles overall as a car to drive, but he's doing very well to keep it on the track.
There we go. Sexy Rexy, great stuff. Geordie, special message from you. For those that don't have a PS5, Assetto Corsa, and want to race PS4 Assetto Corsa, every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So a bit of a special message there for people who still don't have the PS5. It's good, like we said at the top of our show, Voodoo. They can still have a chance to race on the PS4 and still in a competitive league as well.
Yeah, absolutely. RPR have got an amazing league, great community to be a part of. I've got the privilege of being involved in their iRacing events, and, they definitely put on a show. They'll be heading to Paul Ricard on Sunday, so if you're looking at getting involved in ACC, make sure to check out KRL, make sure to check out RPR. Plenty of racing to be involved in. You're missing out if you're not doing anything.
There we have it. Michael letting us know. No singing, please. Yeah, no worries, Michael. We'll take that on board. Mads. Geordie also saying for higher beings that have a PS5, they're also welcome to join if they want to drop back to the 1080p. 30 frames per second, they're more than welcome. Michael says the Bentley is like driving a flying turd. That's for sure. You did, Dino. Yep, you did practice. Just asking nicely. The boys having a great time in the comments there, but well, a dozen minutes left in this race, and barring any other strange events, not that we've had too many strange events, Voodoo, it should be Albert coming across the line to take victory here on, what has he done? 19 laps. So, well, it's been almost the perfect race. Is that Rex having some trouble there? And Rex,
yeah,
what's
that
happened
was
there?
the moment.
I'll
go back onto the replay and I'll get back to you.
And we'll get, looks like that bonnet, as it looks like the bonnet's just in a bit of trouble there for Rex Buckingham. And I tell you what, as soon as we gave him a rap and how good is Rex, Michael wanted to know how good Rexy was as he gets out of the way there for somebody. I think that might have been Hef. Yep, flashing through the screen in the Nissan there, the number 23. But, well, unfortunate for Rex down there in 6th place. And, well, he's 45 seconds between him and Brocky as he's gone off the track again. So he's having all sorts of issues controlling that car at the moment. And Rex did hit the fence there. I saw Thunder go through, but I didn't see Rex go through with him. I know those two were close, and now Rex is in a bit of trouble here. Can he get it back to the pits, Voodoo? That's going to be the question here. Can he stay in front of Brocky as well? The number 5, who's coming down Conrod Straight as we speak, as Rex comes into the pits.
Yeah, I've just checked over the replay. I think he got a little bit spooked. There could have been a tap, He does have, I think I looked at it, it was 220 odd thing. So there could have been a tap to the wall on the initial descent through Skyline. On my end, it looks like he just missed it. Could have been spooked, but as they say, don't jump head first down a staircase. And unfortunately, Rex jumped head first down the staircase and went into the wall. Hopefully, he can get that damage repaired and just get back out onto the track for this final 10 minutes.
And let's see. Let's hope he can get back out onto the track. And you can see there, Thunder coming out of the pits. And Brocky now has gone past Rexy, who's still in the pit lane. Don't try and put a square peg into a round feet. What was it? Don't dive down the stairs head first. That's it. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Thanks
I was
for that.
struggling myself.
Yeah, there we go. So a fantastic bit of advice there. As it seems we've got a request now. We did hear no more singing. We are the champions, my friends. This is a special request from Geordie. We'll keep on fighting to the end.
Get them donations in.
Send a donation. We better turn that off. We might get done for copyright. That's gonna piss Michael off. But anyway, he didn't want any more singing. I'm sorry about that. We promised that was the last time. That's what Johnny Farnham's been saying, isn't it? As well.
Sorry to jump in. I don't know
Yep.
if you've seen it. Albert's in the pits. Did he miscalculate fuel, or did tyres go off? It's interesting.
And this is a big turn up for this one. No more requests. Yeah, we know that, Michael. But Albert, Prince Albert is into the pits. He's out. Where's Thunder? No, Thunder's a long way back, is he? But I think he's got some leeway here, but still not what you want to be doing with 8 minutes to go, Voodoo.
Yeah, absolutely not. I was sitting here thinking, the worst case scenario is someone's going to miscalculate fuel and they're going to have a problem. And it doesn't look like he took tyres, so it looks like he's miscalculated fuel, but, you've got to think about it. They're lucky to have such a gap that they do, that they can account for another fuel stop, or whether that was strategy on Albert's part. Take lighter fuel, get more distance, come back in again, and yeah, see how it goes.
There we go. And Madd's just saying, Maddiford saying Albert pitting because he can. A bit like Martin Brundle on the grid last year at the United States Grand Prix, of course. You can't do that. And he said, well, yes, I can, because I just did. Fantastic. But probably could pit 5 times, he said, Mads, and still could be in front, or would still be in front. I don't know about 5 times, but still. Last request, 9-inch nails, like an animal. I don't know whether Michael's going to like that, but we'll wait and see. I'll end this one.
Michael, no, this is so not right.
No, Michael, no, this is so not right. Geordie, I sent you an email with the diagrams of what we can sing and can't sing. Did you receive that? There we go. So thank you, Geordie. And don't worry, I'm coming up. But Albert then, lap 21 of this race. 7.5 minutes to go until the end of this one. And it's looking like a Spaniard is going to be the king of the mountain. Unless Sexy Rexy or anybody else, in fact, has got something to do with it. Is this for position? I think it is, isn't it? Surely it is. Hef and Rex. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
There we go for P7. Look at that. The battles with, what do we got, an hour and 23 gone in this race. Only 7 minutes to go, like we said. And the battle's still raging there out on the track. 7th, Hef, where's he gone? Oh, into the barrier. That's where he's gone. He went the other way, didn't he, before he came into the pits. And now he's hit the barrier again. And I've got to say that number 23 Nissan is taking more hits than a Ukrainian. But Hef, be careful there. Careful, kid buyers. We might get thrown off the air. But those Uralkali Russian sponsors have been treating us very nicely indeed. But the Hef in 8th, so Rex, Sexy Rexy up into 7th. Brocky there, who's done pretty well in P6, hasn't he? After getting past Rex after that mistake a little bit earlier, he's not going too bad there in P6, Voodoo. Not a bad race for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see Brocky having a good race and pushing the punches in that Aston. Branchy's just come into the pit stop, come into the pits to do his final stop. So everyone's going to be done for the mandatories. Are they going to make it on fuel? That's the other question.
Are they going to make it? Are they going to be running on the smell of an oily rag within the final 6 minutes of this race? Michael says, thanks, Elvis. Thank you very much. And there's a new Elvis movie out too, isn't there? I saw the trailer for that. That looks interesting. Oh, Brocky. That looked also very interesting there. Not quite the same control as Elvis, I wouldn't have thought there, but very scary moment there for Brocky. Don't go too close to that wall. And he hasn't done that. But Mac also having a good run here. And I say that as Mac comes down to Murray's corner. Branchy's just coming out of the pits. So this is interesting. And I don't think, is Mac going to get him here? No, I don't think he will. Is Branchy going to get out? We're going to see Mac Miller in the background very shortly, I reckon, here, Voodoo. Is he going to get him? No, I don't think so.
No, I won't get him, but this could make for a spicy battle. Matt can see him in the distance. It's within reaching distance. Just focus on those good, clean, solid laps, Matt. And I think you'll be surprised at what's going to happen.
There we go. So Mac and Branchy, that could be a little spicy battle coming up. Meanwhile, this man is going to finish on the podium, isn't he? What do we got? P3 for Wilco at the moment. And he's chasing down the number 72 Aussie Thunder. I don't know whether he's going to make too many inroads here. What do we got? Another couple of laps left, Voodoo, maybe?
Yeah, I'd say after we complete this lap, I think we should have another. Well, considering where Albert is, we might have a third lap to go.
Okay, so maybe 3 laps to go, just to tick over 4 minutes. But it is Albert. There he is, climbing the mountain once again. It could be this one and another one, I'm guessing. Thunder in second on the start-finish straight, along with Wilco. And I've got to say, that gap's coming down. Anything possible, Voodoo, with MasterCard. Yes, there we go, 5.2 seconds now. So a little bit of traffic here for Thunder too. Not going to help his cause in the final couple of laps.
Yeah, not at all. You know, you can't get complacent knowing that there's 3 minutes left on the clock. You've got someone honing in their laps. You know, they've been constantly trying to chase you down. Don't get complacent. Just keep focused like you have been the last half hour. Just keep focused forward. You know, 3 minutes to go. Once that timer's done, then you can kind of take a breath.
As Thunder there getting through ahead of the traffic, who it was Brocky in fact. So well, depending on where Wilco gets to Brocky, if he indeed does before the end of this race, it all depends where you catch these lapped cars though, doesn't it, Voodoo? Like you said, in the 12-hour race or with these endurance races, it can be a little bit of luck, can't it, where you come across these lap cars. If it's on the top of the hill, there's not too many options for them to get out of the way. But having said that, Brocky doing very nicely indeed, letting Wilco through.
Yeah, that was a good move to let him go through. It's, like I say, it's probably the most intimidating thing. Being blue flagged, and you know, you don't want to slow the car that's faster down, and at the end of it, you've got to just keep your car pointing in the right direction, because if you make a mistake, then it's all over Red Rover for both of you.
And a bit like that 24-hour race at Le Mans. And I think I was struggling to sleep that night, Voodoo, when I started chatting with you. And you basically weren't talking English at some point there towards about 2 or 3 in the morning. Blah, 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 blah. Something like
40
that.
40 hours awake, that's what it does to you.
It's just not going too nicely there. But Wilco is going nicely. Geez, I've dropped my phone there. Hang on. No, there we go. It's all good. I've got that back. But 2 minutes left. Where is Albert as Wilco comes across the line? It might be this one. I think we might have another one. I don't think he's got... it might be this one and another one, I beg your pardon, until the end of this race. Doing very nicely. There is not a mark on it, on that Jag, is there? Nothing to suggest any sort of incident, anything at all between Jimbledon and Albert. And look at that as Dean with some more music. Sevenfold. Na, 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 na. But... There we go. So Albert, we've only got 90 seconds left in this race. We've gone for 90 minutes, Dean. Just want to put a shout out to my 2 main sponsors, Victor Lawnmowers and Briggs & Stratton. Thank you, Geordie, giving them a plug at the moment, because Albert coming down Conrod Straight for the penultimate lap here. And we've still got 14 people sticking with us after God knows how long. It was daylight outside when I started this, but now it is dark, which means we've been on for a long, long time. A man who's no stranger to endurance races, Voodoo alongside me, who's been here since the opening lap. We lost Bob early on in the piece, didn't we, Voodoo? But thank you for being alongside me here. I'm not winding you up just yet because we've still got a lap to go.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, thank you for allowing me to be here. It's been my pleasure. And, you know, as you touched on, it's just unfortunate we couldn't have Bob here. Technical difficulties, they always seem to strike at the worst moments, but it's just a part of sim racing. You know, there's always going to be some kind of difficulty here or there, and it's just unfortunate it struck tonight for Bob.
Yeah, it's terrible, but Bob will be back, we can assure you. He is safe and well over there in Perth, and certainly 10, 11... 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We are counting down. This is going to be it. And barring any other strange occurrences here in terms of connection issues, like we said, it can strike us league races. Not that I've raced for a long time. I did finish 10th, didn't I, in Monza on Assetto Corsa a long, long time ago. Picked up that point. Finishing ahead of some pretty big names, including yourself, Voodoo, but we'll leave that there. I've still got evidence of that. I've taken a screenshot. Anyway, but we're out of time. We're out of time as Albert and Mr. Consistione on Assetto Corsa Competizione is looking like he's going to take home the biscuits, because here he comes. He's coming down the mountain one final time. Yeehaw! Down onto Conrod Straight. Onto Conrod Straight. Shout out to the sponsors: Jack Daniels, 4 and 20 pies. Blah, 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 blah. That's what happens when you talk for 2 hours, Geordie. The words don't come out how they should. They're in the brain, but they don't get to the mouth. But here we go, Albert. Down for the final time here through the chase, heading towards Murray's Corner. I'm a little bit ahead of him here. I think I've won this race, but here he comes, Albert. Second last corner, coming up to the final corner, Jimbledon. And Albert, the Jaguar, has been the class of the field here tonight. And he's taking the piss a little bit there. You can see he knows he's home. He comes out of the final corner to win here at Bathurst. And it looks like we've got a Spaniard who is the king of Bathurst, the king of Spain, the king of Bathurst tonight. But look at this. This isn't over yet. Thunder 3.3 seconds ahead of Wilco. Great drive from these two. Thunder for one final time down Conrod Straight. He'll be happy with P2, you reckon. And Mads, Alberto Alonso. And Bob probably couldn't spell his password grammatically correct. That's what I was trying to get to. Geordie, thanks for that. Go Aussie, says Dino. Here he comes, your man, through towards the final corner here to take P2, a podium finish here tonight for his team. And the Nissan, no, it's not a Nissan. Wilco's in the Nissan. Here he comes in the Aston Martin across the line into second. Wilco third. We look further back to see Branchy. Not a bad recovery. It looks like it's going to be P4 for this team after what happened to them earlier in the race.
Yeah, definitely good result for them. You know, Rocky's just coming over the line to secure P6. F's coming over the line to secure P8. So, you know, that comeback drive from Wilco, though, you know, that gap was so big. It ended at 2.3 seconds to Aussie. Give him another 15 minutes, man, that would have been close. But, yeah, you definitely can't go past the Jag, the Spaniard, and the Kiwi. They were the front runners today and very dominant.
That's right, a Jaguar, a Spaniard and a Kiwi. The traditional odd couple. Sounds a bit like Danny Morrison, the cricket commentator, doesn't it? But here comes Branchy around the final corner. Wowee wowza. Here comes Branchy across the line. Great finish for him. P4 in the end. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Congrats, Albert and Jim, says Dean. On your Aussie, mate. Great performance from him. The comment section is getting flooded with comments. Believe it or not, that's what they should be flooded with as Branchy finishes. Excuse me. Gee, those tacos are coming back to haunt me. I knew that would happen. Must have been that sour cream. There we have it. So the end of the race, Voodoo. It is Albert and Jimbledon taking the win. Thunder in second. And I've lost my screen there. But Thunder in second. Wilco in third. Good recovery drive. Of course, from him and Binger, I beg your pardon. Branchy fourth, Mac in fifth, Brocky sixth, Sexy Rexy in seventh. As something weird going on there in the pit lane with Matterford. I think he's done all the damage he should do for one evening, don't you reckon, considering what he did at the end of that first stint? Anyway, all in good fun, because that is the end of this race. Wowee. Let me just get everything back in front of me so I can see what's going on. Thank you. This has been a fantastic race here, and I think we're waiting for our top three to join us in the post-race driver press conference, Voodoo.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we talk about it, let me just quickly try and get an invite to people, because it would be good to have a bit of a chat.
There we have it. So the session has ended. Jim, thanks KRL and RPR for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. The pleasure all ours. Albert, thank you guys. The Spaniard and the Kiwi winning at the mountain. And fantastic stuff. Don't forget that... Sorry, I cut off there. I'm back, though. But thank you. Great stuff, Albert. Dean, love you too. And it's been great to have you with us. And let us know if you see any specials on gaming PCs in your area. But we're waiting for Voodoo, who has been good enough to join the party. Thank you, Voodoo. We are waiting for our top three drivers to join us. But in the meantime, here's Wilco.
go. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Man, my wrists are sore. Like, so
I think I've
sore.
never gotten
And my eyes are sore too, but that's a different story. But,
From driving the car, I'm assuming?
yeah, and my eyes are sore from this.
We've got a part of the
PS4
top
shit,
three.
but, no, that was good fun. Congrats to Albert and Jim. They were just a class above, weren't they? So, yeah, too good for them. Oh, I can't add any more players. Okay, I was just about to add people into the party, but hopefully they'll join in. But yeah, hopefully everyone enjoyed that. That was hot racing, and yeah.
There we have it. We got one of the 6, haven't we? We're waiting for we've got Albert, Jimbledon, Skill, I think, Aussie Thunder, Matterford. No, I beg your pardon, Wilco and Binger. So we got Wilco. That's a good start, Wilco. A word in your own language.
PS5, 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 PS5.
Yes, the superior being has come down and given us his time this evening to come back to the PS4. What was it like, Wilco? 30 frames a second. I'm sure. I think you mentioned in the broadcast that your eyes were hurting a bit there.
Yeah, my eyes are sore. And yeah, I don't know how people go from PC to PS4. Like, Jesus. Props.
Depends
Props
what
to you guys.
depends what sort of PC you got, Wilco. But anyway, we understand. As here we go, a buenos noches.
Albert, before I jump in, Albert, can you add Jim to the party, please?
Yep, can do.
I thought we explained that I wasn't to be interrupted when Albert was coming into the party like that. But anyway, thank you for that, Albert. He is going to invite some other players, Wilco, as well. Was it who else was it? Was it Jim? No.
Yep, Jim and Albert
Jim.
won.
Yep, Jim and
Skill
Albert.
and Aussie in second, and then Binger and myself third.
And as we wait for that to take place, Wilco, here we go. No, we got Jimbledon.
Start off with first place?
Yep, we'll start off
Jim
with
and
first
Albert.
place in numerical order. Jim, can you hear us, mate? Have you got us there?
Sure can, mate.
Good stuff. Well, mate, a Kiwi, a Spaniard in a British car, mate. It seemed to work perfectly for you tonight. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, the Jag is a beast, absolute beast down the straights, and you've just got to hang on for dear life over the top, really. But yeah, good fun. Unfortunately, I sort of saw Skills and a few of the other guys drop off behind, whereas I reckon they would have been on our coattails. I don't think it would have been as clear cut as it was. I just think we just kept our nose clean and out of incidents, really. But yeah, cheers to everyone that organised the event. It was bloody fun, and yeah, I enjoyed it.
Good stuff, mate. Fantastic result tonight. That Jag did not put a foot wrong. Either did both yourself and Albert, mate. Congratulations on the win. Thank you for that. There we have it, Jim. So have we got Albert with us? Albert, buenos noches to you, mate. Talk us through your race.
Hi guys. Yeah, it was, well, Jim, the first stint was pretty much perfect, as it was his quali. And yeah, unfortunately, Skill and Diago had a couple of incidents at the mountain, and it took a long time to reverse and go back to on track. So we gained an advantage, and yeah, I just had to bring it home basically. But yeah, it was great fun. Very good to share the car with Jim, and yeah, thanks to Wilco and everyone organizing it. Apparently the Jag is OP. We didn't know, because we just picked the Jaguar for a laugh, because it's the oldest car of the game from 2012. But yeah, it's bloody quick on the straight. So yeah, no. Cheers everyone, and yeah, thanks Wilco and of course my friend Trev.
Great stuff. And just before we let you go, mate, congratulations. Fantastic performance tonight. But we did have a new name, didn't we, Voodoo? We were looking at your lap times, mate, and one word just sprung to mind.
Consistencia.
Mr. Consistencia, because let me tell you, those lap times were very, very consistent, mate. And we know that this is not a favourite track of yours as well.
No, definitely. It's one the worst tracks in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, the boys love it. So.
End stream, kicking for the party.
How dare he?
Give him a little bit of
no,
leeway.
yeah.
Yep, there we go. But all right,
Let's just say that I like it a little bit more now after tonight.
Great stuff, mate, and you should. Fantastic. Thank you for that. We will move along. I don't think we've got Skilled in here, but have we got Aussie Thunder?
Yeah, we do. Both of them here.
Okay, well we'll start with Skilled then, mate. Talk us through your race. Yep. All right. I think I can say more words in Spanish than what you just said in English. But anyway, thanks for that skill. But thank you for that. No, congratulations, mate. P2 Thunder, mate. Have you got us? Good stuff, mate. It's a hard act to follow, mate. But talk us through your race. Talk us through your race tonight. P2 in the end.
And Voodoo.
Just
Don't leave me out. I'll send you to the Shadow Realm, Aussie.
Going to keep him in the good books. But fantastic stuff, mate. Congratulations on the performance tonight. Great job from your team, mate. Well done. Thank you, Trevor. As we move right along to Wilco. Oh, sorry. That's all right. That's all right. It's probably a problem at my end, that NBN playing up again. But Wilco, we've heard from you, haven't we? Something about sweaty balls and the eyeballs not too good either. But as your teammate, Binger, is he in here? We can have a chat with you, Bing. How's it going, mate?
Trev. How you going, buddy?
Good, mate.
Had
Talk us through it.
Stint there, had to wring the bloody Nissan's neck to get any pace out of it. And that Aston and the Jag were just way too quick. But had a good battle with Matterford there towards the end of the first stint. Yeah, handed over to Wilco and he done the rest. P3. Couldn't ask for much more than that, I don't think so. Pretty good night.
Great stuff, mate. And, well, there we have it. There's our top 3, or top 6, I should say, tonight. Fantastic stuff, Binger. Well done, mate. Good first stint there, getting yourself in a good position to get the team home into a podium finish. That's all we've got time for. Thank you, Wilco, once again for doing all the fantastic work behind the scenes, helping us put this together. And it has been great to... it's been great to have everyone, RPR and KRL, combining once again, Wilco, for the second time in 2 months for this fantastic series.
Yes, it was a good little series, and I'm proud to say deleting PS4 because I'm not... that was good fun. We'll hopefully be able to have a few beers at the Grand Prix in 40 days' time. Albert, hint, hint. See you there. And thanks to everyone for racing, and catch you next time.
There we have it. Fantastic stuff.
Thank you, Trev and Voodoo, for commentating too, and Bob for the first race. Gracias.
Gracias. Fantastic stuff. Thank you to everybody on the chat. I've lost the chat now, but you know who you are. It's fantastic. Jim's already gone. There we have it. It's a little bit late in New Zealand, isn't it? But thank you, Voodoo. I know you're summoning up some potions and magic sort of spells over there probably, but thank you, mate. It's been fantastic. You've had to step up when Bobby left us, but you've done a great job. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great stuff. Always welcome, mate, that's for sure. Big thank you to everyone. Like I said, it's been fantastic. RPR and KRL getting together again. Stay tuned to all our social media channels because let me tell you, we've got some exciting action coming up. Chip in, by the way. We'll pass the hat around. Maybe you can get me a PS5 even. That'd be fantastic. But have a great weekend. Be kind to one another. Social distance, all that sort of stuff. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.